Madueke to Arsenal, Ethan Nwaneri to Chelsea. In this video, we'll break down what is one of the strangest set of transfers you're ever going to see in the Premier League. My overview will contain a little bit of bias, but ultimately we'll break down what both players will bring to the clubs, and of course a little bit of a look at Arsenal, who haven't been very active in this transfer window. Obviously Kepa have come in, Norgard's come in. Is it the most exciting business in the world? Does Noni Madueke change things? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you subscribe as well. Look, I don't like to waste people's time when I'm doing videos, when I'm on podcasts. Let's just get straight to the brass tacks of what is going on here. If Arsenal lose Ethan Nwaneri and they replace him with Noni Madueke, it is absolutely shambolic, embarrassing business. These guys are in completely different leagues. They are slightly different positions, don't get me wrong, even though Ethan Nwaneri can play on the wing. And hand on heart, 100 times out of 100 times, if I was managing one of these two clubs, if I was managing Man City or Liverpool, I'd sign Ethan Nwaneri 100 times over Madueke. And this isn't biased. It's not 80-20, 90-10. It's 100-0. When I look at Noni Madueke, a talented young footballer, I think he's a Fulham level. I think he's a West Ham. I think he's an Everton. If that, they're big clubs. I think he's about that. I don't think he's a Champions League footballer. I don't think he's an England international. I don't think he's of that standard. I'm just being honest. I think he makes a lot of rash decisions. Yes, he's got pace. He's got good energy. Got a decent goal record. I mean, it's stretching a little bit. 20 goals for Chelsea in nearly 100 games. I don't think he sets the world alight. And then you look, he's still a young player. You look at his ceiling. Where can he go? How can he develop if he was to join Arsenal? It looks like it's close, according to Fabrizio Romano. And you have to say, I don't think he's ever going to be a world-class winger. I don't. Sometimes you can see enough in a footballer. 100 games for Chelsea. He had one good game against Wolves away when he kind of mugged off Wolverhampton as an area. I think it was on social media, and he scored a hat trick. I think he dined off that a bit last season. I always thought Chelsea looked better without him, and I don't know if he's an improvement on Martinelli. Well, he's definitely not, in my opinion. He's not going to start if Saka's fit. So I don't see Arsenal massively improving with Madueke coming in. It's a strange transfer. If you're an Arsenal fan, you're desperate for some sort of ambition. You go out and try and gamble with footballers. Every football club makes a mistake with transfers. Don't get me wrong. You can't sign Aguero's every single season, or De Bruyne's every single season, or Frank Lampard's from West Ham to Chelsea every single season. But surely there has to be a little bit more ambition to sign players from different clubs, from different leagues. Signing Chelsea players in basically every season, for the last 7 or 8 years, except for one transfer window. I mean, it stinks. It stinks. And ultimately, when you keep doing that, you're making Chelsea stronger unnecessarily by giving them potential finances and easing their ability to handle what is a very baggy, bloated squad with a lot of wingers that Madueke was a part of that. You're helping an enemy on some level. I think you could find 25 wingers of Madueke's quality in European football, even for less money as well, because there's no England tax, and Arsenal would be just as good. And then we go to Ethan Nwaneri, who I think has got a far higher ceiling. I've seen this guy score quality goals, not only in the Premier League, in the Champions League as well. He's got a better first touch. He controls things far better. He's more of a playmaker than Madueke. Madueke is more explosive. Again, it's a positional difference. Of course it is. But Ethan Nwaneri could play on the right wing. I'd rather have Ethan Nwaneri on the right wing than Noni Madueke. So instantly Arsenal are losing. Then you think about Noni Madueke coming in as this kind of third-party player. I mean, Ethan Nwaneri is an academy product of Arsenal. And he's not just some centre-back or he's a goalie. He kind of epitomises the creative vision of what Arsenal fans think Arsenal are as a football club. That kind of the Mesut Ozil of the world, the Martin Odegaard, the Dennis Bergkamp. He is of that kind of calibre, that silky creative player that Arsenal fans absolutely love, kind of chime and resonate with. And he's from the academy. I mean, this kid was playing for Arsenal when he was 16 years old. And I thought last season he wasn't trusted anywhere near enough in big moments, particularly in the Champions League when they needed a couple of goals to get past PSG. And Ethan Nwaneri was scoring goals. I mean, his goal record in the Champions League is comparable to the likes of Martin Odegaard, who doesn't get you many goals either. It was really strange for Mikel Arteta at the back end of last season, how he wasn't trusted. He wasn't given game time. Is that down to the fact that maybe he knew that Ethan Nwaneri wasn't going to sign a contract extension? Obviously, there are FIFA laws about players in and around the age of 18 only be able to extend for 3 years at a time. That option is now available to Ethan Nwaneri, and that's where Chelsea come in, because they can poach someone for a discount compared to him signing. His contract runs out next year in 2026, and that's where Chelsea could come in and reap the benefits. If Chelsea ended up with Ethan Nwaneri on one side, you got Neto, you got Palmer on the other side, you got Delap and João Pedro down the middle. That's far stronger, I'd argue, than maybe Arsenal. I think Saka's the one that is outstanding between both clubs. But suddenly, Ethan Nwaneri going to Chelsea, he's not going to Atletico Madrid. It's like he's a rival within the city, wearing blue, rocking up at the Emirates. It hurts because I've seen Cole Palmer go to Chelsea and thrive. It's a big football club. When things go right at Chelsea, they really go right. There's a lot of mistakes at Chelsea. There's a lot of issues with the ownership, with the squad, with the finances. But on the pitch, you are still seeing players that are arriving under a lot of scrutiny, arriving in difficult situations. Maybe there's an issue with the manager for certain Chelsea fans. But Ethan Nwaneri could go to Chelsea. He wants game time. That is another thing to talk about as well. That's why he could move this summer, because he wasn't given the game time by Mikel Arteta. And ultimately, you're looking at a guy that could come into Chelsea, link up with Cole Palmer, who's one of the best playmakers in world football, and suddenly have more of a role in a squad. And bang, not even hurt Arsenal in terms of seeing an Arsenal Academy product go to Chelsea and thrive, but actually surpass Arsenal in the league table next season as well. And Chelsea aren't a million miles off of doing that unless Arsenal really make a big move. Now, obviously, a lot of this is speculation. If Madueke comes in, if Ethan Nwaneri stays and signs a contract extension, and then a Gyökeres comes in, Eze comes in, Sesko comes in, it does look more interesting, more dynamic. Rodrigo. For a lot of Arsenal fans, it should be 2, 3, or 4 of the players that I've mentioned. And I'm inclined to agree. If Arsenal want to be a big club, they can't be letting academy products go. They can't be allowing Mikel Arteta to be a little bit stubborn, not playing the talent of Ethan Nwaneri and letting him go to a rival over stubbornness, bringing in Noni Madueke, who isn't going to give you masses of control, isn't going to give you 7 goals every 8 games. He's not going to give you a mad goal ratio. And suddenly, Arsenal are buying up scraps from Chelsea, and they're sort of going backwards in the transfer market. Norgard is a good deal. Kepa is a good deal. Madueke are all good deals combined. If you caveat that with actual major progressive signings in the squad that take the squad further into the next couple of years in major competitions. And ultimately, at the moment, all I'm seeing is Noni Madueke linked to Arsenal. Of course, Eze is potentially in the pipeline as well. But it feels like Madueke is being fast-tracked, and it's an actual transfer that we can talk about. Where is the Eze transfer? Where is Gyökeres? These deals had to have happened yesterday. We are fast approaching the Premier League, and it looks like there's some backups for the Arsenal squad being signed in terms of Kepa and Norgard. Major talent potentially being on the way out, with Noni Madueke coming in. This is season 35 of Netflix FC and Chill. There are more seasons to Arsenal than Law & Order SVU. It's embarrassing. Arsenal have to wake up in the transfer market, in my honest opinion. Leave your comments down below. Do you agree with my thoughts on both players? And make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new.